Hey there, welcome back to Angry Bird. It's Tyler again. Um, I'm kind of new, so I apologize, but if it helps, I guess, to ask if you'll subscribe and if there's any comments, I will respond to anything if I see it. Kind of new at this, so any anything worth mentioning is worth mentioning. And like I said, I retract anything with new evidence as long as you know, am presented it. So here we go. There's something really dear to me that puts things kind of in perspective on these hit jobs and stuff that they keep doing out there on people that are in crisis. So this is what I'm going to say. Look, there are predators out there, and then there are people that aren't, and they have similar habits and they do similar things, and get right into it. I'm just going to reference this out as like a drug addiction kind of talk, okay, or any kind of habit that's addicting in nature. So when you think of a Hunter Biden, I mean, that's going to ruffle feathers across so many people, man. And everybody has their belief of his guilt of something or his dad's guilt of something, and I'm not here to talk about that part of it. I'm here to talk about the part that people don't take into consideration sometimes, and that's that addiction is not a choice really, and it just isn't. You're born an addict. You don't know what you're addicted to. You just become addicted to it when it gets presented to you. You just don't realize it, man. It's the best analogy I can get, kind of what that is. It's like asking somebody that's addicted if you wanted them off of whatever they're addicted to. Getting them off is a process of getting them off. But while they're addicted, especially to drugs and chemicals that alter your state of mind, alter your reality while you're under those things, alter things. It's a much more dangerous thing to be under, and some of those are so hard to get off. I mean, I remember when I was reading about like heroin or something, as a kid, there was a book they were passing out to scare us. I'm part of that Just Say No. We had Nancy Reagan telling us, all of us kids, just say no, kids, just say no. We had all of us standing out there, and we were like looking for people to say no to or something. Like I'm just kidding. That was the pitch line to us kids. I mean, we practically ignored it. The biggest thing from that generation that sinks in the most is that frying egg pan commercial. And chime in if you remember that, man. That shit was funny. They'd be like, "This is your egg," and they'd show you a nice egg, clean, and ready to go. And then they drop it in the frying pan and start sizzling. It's like, "This is your brain on drugs. Just say no." Was their thing. And funny how that time passed. But I'm gonna get to this point. By the time you're my age, going through your 50s, and you are going to have seen probably quite a bit, right? You've seen some friends died. By now, I mean, in 50, gosh, cancer's taken out quite a few people I've known. But one of the things I've witnessed, that's the one of the most disturbing things I've witnessed, is drug addiction. And it sinks different when somebody that's had that kind of problem, and you don't know if you've never done it, and if you don't know what addiction really is like, and you're not really familiar with the process of getting off of it, and you're one of those, oh, they just make bad choices, look at all those people make bad choices, right? You're undercutting the reality of it is. And the reality of it is when you're addicted, you can't stop. It's like calling you. You see it tear people apart. They don't think they have a problem, and then family members leave them. They don't think they have a problem, then they lose their job. They don't think they have a problem, then the mortgages are late, and then they're out on the street. They don't think they have a problem, but and everyone around him was like, bro, sister, like, whoa, what's going on with you? Let's get you some help, man. And I had a friend that best friend for, oh man, I mean, we were so close for a while, and then we separated, and then we got back together, and then he met up with someone that I didn't like, and then I'll tell you the guy's name I didn't like. I didn't like this guy named Ross. He really pushed the envelope of scam and con and crazy. And anyway, he met him, and they did start doing stuff different than me, and I just didn't hang out with them. And I did at the beginning. I met him, kind of got to know him, and then it was like, oh, this is gonna be nothing but trouble, and I got away from that. And so this guy shows up to me, my friend that was best friend on and off for years. He shows up to me, and I've never seen somebody in that state that I cared about in front of me like that. It hits different, man. When you see it on TV and news, and you're trying to put it in your head how people get in those situations, and you justify it because nobody or the close ones, have all been lucky enough to never be in it. When I say lucky, because it doesn't take much. Like I said, you're addicted already. You just have to try it first, and then that craving just goes, and people just, the comforts of it you want back in your life constantly because it's giving you comfort. And you just kind of goes that alcoholism's like that. Kind of pretty much any drug addiction. But this guy shows up, and he's shriveled down to the bone, shriveled. He's shaking, and I'm just thinking to myself, holy crap, I'm about to lose a friend. And his path to recovery, I'm sorry if I get a little emotional, but that's who I am. All right. So his path to recovery, um, I don't know how you can do it. Honestly, I think me just drawing the line in the sand right that moment, that's as far as you got to go, brother. I can get you a job. I can get you a paycheck coming. Let's just get you some food. And he recovered. And yeah, sorry. Just the thought of him in that position is pretty terrifying. But anyway, you have to just envision it. Some guy leaves, and what, 9 months, 10, maybe 10, maybe 11. He comes back to me, shriveled to the bone, sucked in, dude, just looking for help. Comes in and says, I need help. And I'm just like looking in the eyes, and I thought he's dying on me, man, like right there, I'm just like, holy crud. So these guys recover, and imagine if I wasn't there, maybe. He had family, maybe, it'd probably work out. It might have. But I'm trying to envision somebody else out there, man. Anybody else. And they don't have somebody that said, whoa, I got you. Whoop. Get you back in, bro. Get you back in. And what happens to them? Okay? So you got all these people out there addicted, and all these people struggling, and all these people fucking don't get help. They get addicted, they're ODing, they're dying. You got these guys out there mocking somebody for it, publicly mocking him. See, if you had the crime, and you had the information on the crime, and you were presenting that information and not trying to tell a story, first and then present information later. Just present the facts, We don't got none, but we believe you did it. That's all you had to say, because that's basically all you had. Whatever the hell you thought you had. But you put them out front and center. And anybody that's recovered, that's pretty triggering, I would think. Okay? First one. Second one. The guy blew himself up. He's a USA veteran and a MAGA by every standard possible you can think of. And they just betrayed him out. This guy was mentally ill. And they demonized him by saying that was an immigrant that attacked us. And so when you start looking at these things, I don't know where you can't find disgust with it. Because if you got an addict friend recovering, that couldn't sink well with you watching them mock a guy recovering on TV. Maybe in your head, these Bidens are so severely corrupt to the bone that ridiculing a kid of his that went through shit and back and was your cup of tea. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know I don't know how that sits with you. So the media would have it out like these guys are snakes and they're dirty and they're hiding and they're look Biden pardoned his son. We knew it. They're guilty. And I mean, how much more does that boy need to be put through without evidence, man? And I'm not meaning to call him a boy, but because he's a grown-ass man, he's just like me. Point is he's somebody's son, and you're calling him a son all the time. It's somebody's boy, is how you're presenting it. And, yeah. So when you take things and you just keep twisting it up, people mentally ill who need help, you're just calling them immigrant terrorists now. People that have drug addictions that really need help, you're mocking them because they're somebody's son. You're publicly humiliating them, probably triggering them back down. You don't know how hard families work to get people off drugs. You don't know how many hours and families sometimes can't. They sometimes fucking can't. They lose people all the time. And you go out there and for political gain, you take a problem that arguably we self-create by giving everybody a bunch of drugs, knowing they're addicted. The big pharma thing with the opioid crisis. And then you go blame immigrants for it, man. Immigrants are bringing the drugs. Immigrants. You're mocking things that should never be mocked. You're hurting groups of people that need help by gaslighting the public on it. And until we as a community figure this out, like all together, and just be like, no, we're not having this no more. We're protecting the weak. Isn't that a saying somewhere? Supposed to protect the weak? It's the Marines, right? I'm here to protect. We're there to protect the weak. Who's protecting the weak citizens? Well, I'll tell you one thing. The people ridiculing addicts, the people criminalizing homeless, the people pitting us versus them. No, it ain't them. They're gaslighting relentlessly. And weak need help, man, I ain't gonna lie. We have to stand up for them because it's a trickle down. You start with the smallest groups, criminalize, and then the big groups get a little bit different, but a little bigger, different, but bigger. But they're always the minority. They're always the minority. So all's well, as long as it's the minority. Eventually, though, enough people become the minority for different reasons. They might be the minority today because, pick your pony, skin color. They might be the ones tomorrow in the minority because of their religion. They might be in the minority the next day because they work in a class that you don't work in, right? You're I don't know, whatever. You're an engineer and, well, they chop wood, so, oh well, they're in the minority. It piggybacks until you're the minority. And then it's too late. Because everybody that would have helped you is already gone. And any history book would explain that to you if you just go through how that works and how they target the smallest ones and just kind of eliminate everybody till it's all them. So stand up for the weak. Don't allow mockery of things that people are hurt by. It seems ridiculous to have to say that today. But with the likes of X existing, it's almost like an adrenaline rush for people to run around and just go crazy on somebody else and I own somebody. Yeah, I'm a tough guy, right? That's the vibe anyway. It's like, man, that's insanity on a whole nother level. Arguing with someone over the internet and just being like cutthroat about it and then walking away from the conversation and then enjoying it so goddamn much. Sorry, I do that so damn much that you got to keep coming back for more and more and more, and it just becomes this addiction of owning somebody and owning a conversation, feeling good about how that made you feel to punch down on somebody, right? They're punching down on so many things right now. I just don't know how you guys sit by on it. And so this hits me different because I had somebody in the situation. I've lost a friend. I've seen people lose careers, wives, and we all know what that stuff does to a person. If you're my age, you've seen it. If you're younger, you might be like, you probably haven't seen it yet, because it takes a little bit to really get to people, It takes years sometimes for certain ones. Some are quick. Some are instant, right, if you take too much. But the point is, it affects everybody. And to mock something like that, like mock illnesses, that's harsh, man. And so I don't know how it all sits with you. But I love y'all, and I hope we all are ready up to stand, because if it ain't somebody that's an addict, if it ain't somebody that's a homeless, if it ain't somebody that's a trans or LGBTQ community, by the way, I love y'all. You guys are the, most accepting, loving people I've ever met. Outside of the hate groups that don't like you, you don't really need to accept them, though, do you? So, but anyway, y'all have a great day. Talk to you later.